Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. We're excited to have you. And for everyone who doesn't get a chance to come on live, we appreciate you watching the replay also. Just so everyone's aware, the call is recorded. Hopefully, you're okay with that. Otherwise, if you feel the need, we would love to see you. But if you do feel the need, you can always shut your cameras off. But we'd rather see you. So um, thank you again for all being here. This is an incredibly exciting time, and I want you to know that you are part of the founding creators with Hasmark. And we're going to talk a little bit today about the fact that Hasmark is fast becoming the #1 creator of content for entertainment in the world. And you guys are here to be part of that. And we're excited to have invited you to get to meet you and to see where this expands. Last week during the call, Jen, can you flip to the presentation, please? Hasmark is, we have started to change our brand a bit. It will still remain as Hasmark, but we're also doing we have announced the Grand Library of Imagination, which is about bringing you all into this world of imagination where it becomes a legacy as well. So during our call last week, we did announce 2 streaming channels that will be going live later this year. If you didn't get a chance to be part of it or watch the recording, if you would kindly do so, or drop a message into the chat window to let us know you didn't receive the recording, and we'll be happy to share it with you. So if you do have questions, you are welcome to place in the chat window. We'll try and get to them as we progress throughout this call. We're going to try and hold you to an hour to respect everybody's time. So with that, I think we've actually moved on to 2 or 3 slides, Jen. And today, the purpose of the call is so that you guys have, most of you know me, and if you don't, I'm Judy. I am the president, founder of Hasmark. We do publishing, we do the marketing, turning books into bestsellers. We've been at it for now, we're in our 17th year. And we've really expanded with the help of Radiance and Tess into bringing content to the world, but in a bigger way, bigger than I could have ever imagined it. So Tess Cacciatore is absolutely incredible. She is an amazing lady, multi-talented, award-winning, just a dynamic human being. And Radiance Tyler is our cheerleader. She's an incredible soul. She has an amazing vision. She is also a talented musician. She can do sound branding, sound creation, videos, stuff like that. So I'm going to let these 2 ladies talk more about who they are and what they do for the world. So Tess, I'm going to hand over the virtual mic to you.
Well, thank you. It's great to see all of your smiling faces, and some I've met before and some are new to me. So I look forward to finding out basically what your needs are, what you dream, and what your vision is for your brand, your children's book, or your novel, autobiography, or whatever you are doing in the world with regard to Hasmark. It was about 3 years ago I was introduced to Judy for Hasmark, and Radiance and I have known each other for, I don't know, maybe over 20 years. So I think it's about 20, 25 years now. So we came together to be able to find a way to bring books to life. And we're going to be sharing more about that during this session. And I'm an author as well. I have an autobiography out there, A Crazy Journey of My Life. And I have children's books out there. So we're launching a children's book and series. We started already on July 15th for the little kids book, and then on August 22nd, which I'll share more about that as well. a very exciting launch that's happening out of Japan for the middle grade book. So I'm right there in there with you as a storyteller. My brand on Global Women's Empowerment Network is transforming lives through the power of storytelling. So I'm really here to support everybody here with regard to how do we take these storybooks, these stories, our visions, and bring them to life, whether it's through a music video, a video trailer, a TV series, a documentary, a feature film. That's all that I've been doing for the last 30 plus years in the entertainment industry. I live out here in crazy Los Angeles and survived the fires and all kinds of crazy stuff out here. But from the Midwest, and I'm going back to the Midwest this week for a big conference for peace, which ties into, excuse me, the Yumi brand, which we'll share about today. So I think that's enough for me to hand the virtual mic over to Radiance and have her share her beautiful self.
Yes, yes, unmute. Yes, that is the glory of today. All right, practice again. Hi, beauties. I'm grateful to be here with you. I'm Radiance Tyler. I am here at Silver Birch Studios. We focus on sound design, score, getting the vibrancy of what it is that you're creating, and bringing it to life. That's part of Judy's team. First of all, I just want to honor each of you for your journey. John, I see you're coming in here. You haven't missed anything that you can't just press repeat and watch again. We're this vibrant every single time. And Tess, thank you so much for your contributions here. I've worked with many of you, and Judy, your team is remarkable. I am all about how do we develop your assets? Like, okay, you've created a book or you've created 3 books. What is your legacy that you're bringing back to humanity? So many of us out here have a lot of resources. And for me, it is how do we turn those resources that you have into digestible bites, turn it into content, courses, scripts, film, movies, and get it out. TV shows. We're actively, as you recognized with the last call, we're actively involved in finding the very best, which is each of you coming through here, and then working alongside you for your legacy. So once you're here, you're home, we have all of the distribution that's coming through, and it's our job to place you at the highest levels to get those resources back to the people. So thank you for your contributions in this journey. I totally believe in each of you, even if I haven't met you yet. I love you already. And we are willing to come alongside you and cheer you on to be the best version of yourself. So there we go. Thanks.
Thank you too. You're just, I love your 2 energy. I've had the privilege of knowing these 2 ladies for 3.5 years now. And in some ways it feels like it is, we've all talked about the trifecta, is that it feels like it takes forever, but really when we stop and think about it, it hasn't taken us that long. And Tess is going to share as much as she can about what distribution channels, like where are we going and where do we see you guys bringing content that can reach the world in a massive way.
So basically, your books are your product and your brand. So what's important for us to be able to step in, I know you've met with Judy and Radiance, many of you, and have talked about what are the next steps for that. This is my lane of expertise as well. So I'll be coming into the lanes as well to tell you and share with you and guide you with Radiance and Judy and her beautiful team, Jen and Anne-Marie, love you. How do we take a storybook, whether it's a children's book or an autobiography or a fiction? It could be a mystery, it could be a comedy, a rom-com. All of those can be translated into TV shows, documentaries, or movies. So what I will be coming to do is to help you figure out how to do that and where to go with it. It could be an edutainment, which is, I think, what Judy was talking about at the very beginning, having Hasmark, where I'm been in edutainment since the year 2000. It's an old term that's now being resurfaced and recirculated. It's really about how do we take that education and entertainment merge it together so people are learning something along the way. They're getting inspired, they're getting motivated, they're getting their own visions in place. So I have the ability to help you figure out how to dissect the story and turn it into something that is of a different distribution level. So there's that piece of the pie. And then there's also the distribution. So where can we take you to get it out to the public so that we can circle back around and come back to the Amazon bookstores where Hasmark has done beautifully to put everybody up and set up everybody for Amazon bestseller list. They're masterful at that. So how do we have that full cycle? So then next people are saying, I want to know more. I want to see where these brands go. I want to see where these characters live and breathe. So we have a couple of distribution channels that we're working with, more than a couple. Judy, do you want me to talk about distribution now? Okay, that was a yes. She's on mute. So the distribution, there's streaming platforms, obviously, as we know. We all know the Hulus, the Rokus, the Netflixes, Amazon Prime. There are a lot, like so many, and I've been in this part of the industry for a long time. I've been carefully, mindfully calculating which platforms I believe will go to the distance and which ones have the knowledge to be able to get out there. Everybody and anybody can go to Roku and pay a nice dollar. Roku, iOS, Amazon Prime, or Amazon and Fire TV. So you are Amazon Fire. You can all go out there and build your own apps, but why would you want to be a snowflake in the middle of a snowfield? Why not join a big snowball? I've never used that analogy before. I usually use a grain of sand on a beach, but I think it's working. I think you get the picture. Why be that grain of sand on the beach when you can be part of a bigger situation, the sand castle that we'll build in the sand, to all be together so we can monumentally and move the audience forward and get them inside of your brands and inside your stories. So we have I know that last week that you were able to see Alex Riggs from WTN. I'm happy to say that that is a wonderful platform. I'm actually one of the founders of it. I'm more on the outside track because of what's happening in my world creatively, but I highly recommend WTN. Amazing platform, amazing connections to the schools. They're going worldwide. So we'll be able to help you guide if you go there. The one caveat for there, as you might have known if you listened to the call last week, is that they're exclusive. Very good reason why they want to be exclusive, and I agree with that rationale, because they want to know that the content you have there is you're not going to see it anywhere else, and that means a lot to a lot of people. However, if you don't want to go exclusive, there's multiple platforms that I have relationships with that we've brought to the table that will be able to give you exclusivity or non-exclusivity. So that means you can go on multiple platforms. And what does that look? Does it dilute your brand? It could, but it also gives you an opportunity to be out there where others might not be. So there's two very, very strong avenues that are very specific to exclusivity with WTN or non-exclusive with multiple platforms. And we'll be able to meet with you individually and determine which is the best way for you to go.
Which is fantastic. I see Radiance doing a cheerleader. And
I don't
it's true.
see her. Where is she? The little...
She's there in her little window, in her own little world. But what I do really respect about you is you have incredible connections, Tess, that we've been able to help garner. And because over the years, Hasmark has had creators, authors come to us who are all in the same mindset of helping others, whether it be helping through entertainment or education or edutainment. It's where our crowd all has been and continues to keep on going. And when this opportunity, when we first started to talk and you started to talk about these connections, I knew you had gone through and filtered what you saw as really important. And one thing I want to remind everyone is one of the things that makes WTN stand out more than anybody else is their opportunity to get into the education system. So if you haven't watched last week's video, watch it. It's worth the time. Alex was on the call. She explained how the channel works. She explained about Hasmark channels. Well, we needed to go beyond that. We needed to give you guys the opportunity to bring content that you might have created, but it just sits quietly. But you already sell it, but not in a macro way. Like one of the things that one of the people we were talking to yesterday, by the end of the year, she's going to get us in front of 480 million homes. Like that is massive, that opportunity. And we're right now, we can't say who it is, but we are building our own channel for that. Tess already has content on their network. So we know it's possible. We know how she did it. And Tess and Radiance, again, I started by saying is that Tess is an award-winning producer, filmmaker, creator, author. I'm not going to cover everything, Tess, because
just lots of hyphens.
Yeah, yeah, she's absolutely incredible. But recently she did this short, which is she's talking a little bit about Yumi, and she created a micro short, and I forget how long it was.
90
It wasn't long, and 19
90.
And she is winning awards. It's not finished yet. She is winning awards. The songs that are based off it, she's already winning awards, and she hasn't even done the full rollout yet. So what's great is you as authors, she had her book, she got the book going, but while that was happening is marketing was going on, songs were being produced, animation was being produced, there's micro short, there's award-winning songs associated with it. Like and the whole overall project is absolutely phenomenal. And what it stands for is amazing. Congratulations, Tess. You've done amazing. And that's why I bring her in for all of you.
It's not like just throwing spaghetti at the wall. I'm using all these food analogies and sand and snow and everything. It's the writer in me. But yeah, it's very strategic of what we need to do with you as well. You know, I go back to 2000, 25 years ago. I have been in this world of the edutainment for a long time. I won a beautiful award out of the United Nations in Geneva for edutainment. So I just wanted to tell you that, not in a braggadocious way, but just to show you that I've been in this world for a long time. And the combination of edutainment and entertainment is the way that we're going to be able to reach the children these days. And it's really important. I know Radiance does a lot of mind, health, body work, and we bring that into the mix for everybody. I as well am very, very dedicated to that. So Yumi's Universe is books and music and meditation, and really about the storyline is about a young Japanese girl who lives in an ancient cherry blossom tree at the base of Mount Fuji. And she comes from a long line of Japanese formal tea ceremony specialists. So her grandmother, her Oboshan, takes her around the world. And as she goes on this journey, she meets these beautiful animals that become her friends. And they're from different cultures. So we have Ravi, the Indian elephant, who represents respect. We have Holly, the koala bear from Australia, who represents harmony. We have Saren, the panda bear from China, that represents tranquility. And we have Zuri, the giraffe from South Africa, that represents purity. So those four words are the four cornerstones of the formal Japanese tea ceremony. Through this brand, we're going to be able to show geography, history, science. We have so many things that I'm not even sharing with you because I don't want to take up the whole hour. I really want to hear from you all too, but I just wanted to show where your imagination starts as a kernel. It can turn into a whole big festival of things that can happen within that one storyline idea. And I know I've met with Sherry and Sandy and a few other people. There's some brilliant minds and very creative people here that I'm excited to dive in to see where we can go with taking your brands and your visions and blowing them up. One of the things I'll share with you is Radiance with the sound design was so beautiful. Her and her team put together music, the soundtrack for our 6-minute short. It won 24 international awards in the film festivals. So, and we're still going. I still get requests. Can you please submit the rescue? Because it has to do with even in sex trafficking. So it's a very serious part of my world. And on the Yumi side, we've won 6 film festival awards so far. And then we won the Hollywood Independent Music Awards this past Wednesday night for a children's song, the Best Children's Song Award, for a song called Chasing the Sun. So that's just the tip of the iceberg of where we're going. So I'm seeing a chat with my name in it, so I'm sorry I'm distracted. But yeah, we're here to support you. And I'm so excited of what you all are bringing to the table and what Hasmark has done with you and where we can go. So I just wanted to give reference about the depth of where we are.
It is incredible. And I remember when you started talking about the idea of it, and here we are, and it's only been a short while.
It hasn't even been a full year. On August 16th will be the day that this conversation with my friend happened. And I was sitting right in this chair talking to him on August 16th, and he was in the hospital. He had been diagnosed with stage 4 lymphoma, and he had a visit of a friend in the hospital, and she came. Her name was Yumi, and she came to visit with a basket of tea. And it was a friendship ceremony. He woke up out of this drug-induced situation going, where am I? Because he sees this woman fully dressed in Japanese, the whole regalia, everything's so beautiful. And I got inspired by that moment. And that would be the last time I spoke to him. He went into a coma, and I wrote the book. I'm sure all of you as writers will know when that download comes in and you cannot do anything but go to the computer and write. That's what happened to me last year, almost a year ago. I mean, we're coming up to the year anniversary right now. So wow. It's very important when I look at that timeline, that timelines can mesh into each other, that we can all really work to say, what are our goals? Getting those milestones together. Jen and Anna Marie are amazing for helping to do the scheduling as well, to get those books out, to time them, to be strategic on where they come out and what else we can do to bring that brand and lift it to the next level.
Yeah, exactly. We were just on a call a little while ago with Sherry and then yesterday with Sandy, and it's incredible how ideas just spawn out of those calls. And that's one of the things that we're here for. But it's amazing the ideas that come up. Radiance, can you talk a little bit about what you're doing as well and what you're bringing? Because you are more than a cheerleader.
I am. I really love the consultation of just sitting with you to, first of all, help you to recognize the gratitude that I have just for this part of the journey that you got this far. So I think that our whole team have a huge amount of respect as it relates to bringing people to the table and celebrating exactly where you've landed. And then the next piece of that is helping you to recognize the gift that's been granted, excuse me, the gift that's been granted to each of you because you're writers. And so much of what's happening in today's society is really about other people writing or other systems writing. So to have legacy authors who genuinely have had these experiences, what the toil is to be able to just produce a piece of content, and to have an entire team now that surrounds you and that we walk with you through these different stages and each step of the way. Many of you that I see on here, please raise your hands if we've been with you through parts of this journey. Okay, so we're here and we see what you're with, and we just expand with this trustworthy team of people.
I need to add a little cheerleading for Radiance, because what her and her team do at Silver Birch, and the music to me, I've always indicated that the music is a character in your story. It adds life, it adds tone, it adds emotionality. It is a character in your story. And what Radiance and her team bring to the table with the soundscapes and your sound branding, and the soundtracks. We won 2 out of those 23 awards was soundtrack for Radiance's work on the rescue. So I just wanted to do a little shout out for you, girl.
Thank you, Gloria. So for me, like I wake up really excited about being of service, and each one of us here has a purpose. I believe that our larger purpose within humanity is to bring the resources that we have, that each of you as authors have, that you see that there's a responsibility to the accumulation of resources and wealth that each of you have curated, and then taking that and putting it in long-term packages that can be sold and licensed and distributed at its highest potential for the most amount of people. Because I know in working with young people and working with older people that those resources are needed in today's society. And what I didn't have as a key when I entered here over 3 years ago with Judy, in the entertainment industry, what I was recognizing is music and the media that each of you bring reaches the hearts of people when they are in isolation and when there might be a time of desperate. So for me as a songwriter, and as I think about, imagine you're back in 50 years ago, 40 years ago, something like that. You've just broken up with somebody and there's one song and you put that song on repeat. And the same thing happens to me with books and with movies, that there'll be one book that really stands out to me and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like my favorite book ever. And it marks a moment in time. So recognizing that you have that potency as authors to meet people in all kinds of places throughout their life. And with that is your purpose and your responsibility to work with a trustworthy team of people to get those resources back to the humans. I help to accentuate that specifically in a few areas. One is music. The second is I have a team that helps with building out educational platforms specifically geared to meet the needs of the young people as it relates to what are the qualifiers for education. And I've raised 6 children, and I've rewilded and unschooled 3 of those children. So I know the language model for those young people and their super fast levels of information coming in. That's where we meet you on the journey. That's what I'm most excited about, is helping you to remember that you have a divine purpose, and that purpose is to get your content out at the highest possible levels for the most amount of engagement so that people feel like they have resources during their journey. And I happen to cheerlead you along with this team of people. I do.
And only 3 ounces of coffee.
Yes, that's at 5 a.m., 3 ounces of coffee. So this is all day.
Exactly.
Oh, good question. Edutainment is education and entertainment. My experience of school, please raise your hands if you did this, was super boring. And only every once in a while would I come across a teacher that, yes, that like was actually interesting. So I look at that data set and we work with you to create high level content that actually lands with young people so that it isn't boring and they're not shutting you off.
And there's 4 around the United States alone. Homeschooling is growing exponentially around the world. In fact, I heard from my partners in Japan that homeschooling is launching very big there.
Yep.
We have access to homeschooling
Yep.
as well. So that's a huge marketplace not to take light of, because they're looking for content.
Yep.
They might have a school teacher. I know several of my friends that have gone into these co-op places where the parents kind of rotate, but they bring teachers. They're looking for content, and you don't know how you can turn your story upside down and then look at it and say, oh, this would be really good. And also there's a STEM button on TikTok now. Thank God. So we
Yeah.
don't have to watch all the
Wow.
families doing the dances all the time. Now we can really create STEM content for that channel as well.
Yeah. So when you consult with us, we can go through that. Like, how
Yeah.
do we make your content specifically for pre-K to fourth grade, from fourth grade to eighth grade, from eighth grade through. So we look at those different components and we have that laid out so that I feel like for me, it's my responsibility to get information back to the younger generation, especially when I see what's available out there. And I've done quite a bit of research and I've spent a lot of money as a parent going into those markets to try to get things that my children are actually interested in.
It is definitely a big passion of ours, is that, you peel it all back and our goal is to educate. And the world has changed so much from when, especially when I was in school, and we did the tactile learning and we didn't want to learn. Like I just saw an 18-year-old young woman the other day and she hates math. And I thought if only it could have been brought to her, because she's a very bright girl, but she doesn't understand math. And I'm thinking, oh, if only it could have been brought to her in an entertaining way
Yep.
that educated at the same time.
Yep.
So, and again, it's not, just so everyone knows, we also are doing just education content. We're doing entertainment content and edutainment content. So it's not just there, it's just something we're very passionate about, is reaching them at a level where they'll listen.
And if any of you
And
parents out there have children that are doing that new math that I hear about, I don't have children. So we need some tutors on that. At least I do, because I hear it's a whole new foreign language. Does anybody know about the new math that's out there?
no,
Okay, good, Ratings. Then you're going to guide me on that one.
yeah, you might be creating your own. Let's talk about different ideas of content that people can create. I don't know whether you want to talk about an example. I do like that you actually mentioned that about Yumi, how each of the characters, Jen, not sure what happened, but each of the characters within your book each had a purpose. Not each can be its own lesson in itself, but
Yep.
Absolutely. I really, in the character Bible, this is something that we'll go through with you. When you have characters, I know that Sherry has all these beautiful kittens and animals and all kinds of beautiful, beautiful characters. Those can turn into education just by whatever you decide to do with it. So, for instance, in my characters, Ravi, the Indian elephant, he's the historian, he's the science guy, he loves fun facts, historic facts. So through his character, we can bring in certain aspects that get kids piqued in, the topics. So he lives in India near the Sun Temple. The Sun Temple was built thousands of years ago. It took 12 years to build. It's one of those things almost like the pyramids of Egypt. Like, how in the heck did you do the big, huge wheels on the carriage that was carved for these horses? And then this carriage and the wheels themselves is how they used to tell time back in the day when there were no clocks. They were sundials. The wheels became sundials. So there's so many things. If you just open up your imagination and look at your characters in a different viewpoint, right there's so many different things that spring to mind that we're going to bring into for education. So another example I use is, I don't know if you remember back in school when they say, if you're on a train and you have 32 bushels of apples and then 2 bushels fall off and then
yeah.
and you eat 5 apples, how many apples do you have left? I remember I love puzzles, so I had a fun time with that. But so we can do the same thing. The orb ship has to go by how many ounces of good intention can take a certain amount of miles. So it becomes this really cool way of being able to, sorry, a call came in, so I had to push it. It becomes a math problem. So these are the kind of things that we can look into your characters and dissect them. Maybe one of Sherry's kittens is really great at, languages. So there's language we can bring in. Maybe one of her cats are, great and experts in science, so we can bring in science. So that's something that we will dive in with you, because just to open up your brain, I've spoken to Sherry several times, and I love where your brain goes and what you do. And there's so many delicious things we can do with your characters. What I was really excited about with our conversation yesterday with Sandy is that there is a story, a book, that we have several ways that we can bring this story into a feature film, a documentary. There's different lanes that we can do. It depends on what your vision is, where you want to go, where your brand is, what your message is, what are your core values. And this is what we get to do, is dive in and figure out, because each one of you, I'm sure, brings a different plate to the table of what your brands are and what your characters are.
Exactly. Jen shared on the screen just some quick ideas, and Anna Maria has a document she's going to drop in the chat window, because, and it's only a short list of ideas of what you can do. For example, one of the things I loved, what I had mentioned earlier, Tess, is you created this micro short, 90 seconds. And honestly, I would, a lot of times you create something like that and your only thought is marketing, but you went on to win an award, and maybe multiple awards, and you got a lot of attention with it. And I think people don't think like that. Like, one of the things we were talking with Sherry earlier about was, you could do a book reading, but what you'd make different about the book reading is create the lesson to go with the book reading. So what is it your book teaches somebody, and then create the lesson or create some activities that accompany it. And then that can be streamed, of course, focus workshops. A lot of these streaming channels are allowing us to go live. We can do podcasts. What other creative things? You're actually doing media training, right, Tess?
Yeah, Filippo Voltaggio and I, he's had the Life Changes show for 15 years. He and I go way back in the time machine as well, as great dear friends, and we're both media trained. So it's really about, once you get your brand together, how do you get it out to the world? So there's PR agencies, or you can call up stations yourself and get on local TV. I know Sherry has done that a lot. So how do you send your message? How do you distill your message? Because sometimes you only have 3 minutes to be on a show. And that sounds like a lot, but it's not. It goes really fast. So we train you how to get your media messaging down in your bullets. I do want to address the micro short. That was something new. There was the Illuminate Film Festival actually started it for the first time this year. So it's how we can research and find what's unique out there. And I designed the 90-second film based on her starting the micro film festival. So I specifically created the 90-second with one of our team members. We can bring your characters to life as well through animation. We have 2 different channels of animation. So the animation that came to be for that piece was Alan B. Charity. And then Joel Payne is also a very big part of Yumi. He's the character designer. He's the animator. We have people at our fingertips that can help bring your characters to life as well. So when the micro short came to be, then I submitted it. And I've been submitting it to other film festivals, and people are like, I didn't know about micro shorts. So they've actually adopted the micro shorts into their film festivals because it was a new way for them to do it as well. So we never know where we're going to impact other people.
I just wanted to add that I recognize it's a lot of information. Clearly, we've been doing this for 3 years together. So we're like, oh, yeah, it's just this. And I know that some people might be like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. But it really is just as gentle steps. And most of you can attest to this, that it really is, you get on, you do a consultation with the 3 of us, and we're like, and we just give you the next gentle steps. You get your pen and your piece of paper out, and you lick it, and you start writing it down. And we're doing it in gentle steps to walk alongside you. And the last piece is just welcome home. I just wanted to say I'm just grateful to be a part of Judy's massively fantastic, extensive team. I know that many of you have been with her for the life of the 17 years, and I'm just grateful to be part of it.
Absolutely. I would love to hear from any of you, but specifically Sandy and Sherry, since I personally have been on calls with you, so you can share maybe your experience um, of what you've been doing. Sorry, there's things that keep popping up on. I don't know where you are on the agenda, Judy. I don't want to step on any of your toes.
That's good.
Agenda side, but
I'm-
I'd really love to have them step in and tell them what their experience is, because I know that it can be overwhelming. We're giving you a lot of information.
I'm happy to share. I'm Sandy. I live in the Boston area, and I did a call with Radiance and Tess and Judy just yesterday. I met both of them about 6 months ago. I think we were looking at doing a different project, but yesterday I was sharing with them how I'm helping a friend of mine put her book together through Hasmark. She's got an incredible story, and there was a screenplay already created about her life and about someone who is a quadriplegic. And within seconds, Tess was like, I know this one, I'll call this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. I already have 2 actresses that can play her. And Randy's is like, I'll do the score behind it. It was just, there's some magic that happens. I would say, for me as a creative person, there are so many ideas that are brewing in my head, and sometimes I don't know where to go next. But having this team as a resource is so brilliant and so powerful, because my brain can only think so far. But then when you come together in collaboration with Tess and Radiance and Judy, it's like, and then this is possible. It just, your world becomes bigger. And that's what I think is really, really exciting. And it's like, there's the pathway to, like, I know the impact I make in my little world here in Massachusetts and beyond, but I want to go global. And I know that Radiance and Tess and Judy have the capacity and have the team and have the resources to do that. So that's super, super exciting.
Thank you, Sandy. And I saw somebody from Cape Town pop up. That's exciting. I want to be there right now with you. Sandy, it was so inspiring to be on that call with you yesterday. And I'm excited to move that conversation forward with everything. So a beautiful story. It's an example for you all to see how a story that is devastating in someone's life, and how this person has picked up her courage, and how you described your friend is so beautiful, and how the world needs inspirational stories. So if any of you are working on an inspirational story that can turn into a documentary or a feature film, we'd love to hear about that as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I can talk. Who said that?
Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you, Sandy. I appreciate that, and everything that she said is true. I've worked with all 3 of these individuals and one additional one. And my genre is children's books, and I'm an animal rescue advocate. That's what started this whole thing. And what I've gleaned from everything that Tess and Radiance and of course Judy, and even Alex, the things that I've done, I can't believe it. In 2020, my last cat died, and I went to a shelter, and I got another cat, Jasmine. She'd been at the shelter for 3 years, and she was 7 years old, and she was a tortie. I said, they picked her out for me, and I tried some other cats, and I said, no, this is the one. This is the cat for me. So what this cat has done, and I put it all on her, what this cat has done is she has made me, or helped me, assisted me in writing 3 books that are in international bestsellers, and that's on Hasmark helping. The 4th book that just came out, Baxter, that was also an international bestseller. And Jasmine said, why don't you have the animals talk in the books? So I thought, okay, that's a great idea. And what I did is I started, with these books, I started having the animals talk. The animals are in shelters, and letting the reader know why they're in a shelter. The first book in Baxter, he was just a dog that loved mud, and he was in the shelter for 999 days. These stories, just the idea of the story actually comes from the shelters themselves. And it's teaching kids how to be kind, what animals go through, but in a nice way. It's not saying, well, they were brought in all beat up and blah, blah, blah. That's not the way the stories go. The protagonist is an animal that needs to get out of the shelter, and Jasmine comes in and she helps them, like with Baxter, clean up. Well, clean up, and even we've got even one of Jen's, her dog, Lucky, is in the book. And they help Baxter get all cleaned up and everything. Two hikers come in. This is not the dog for us. We thought we want a dirty dog. And so Baxter, the protagonist, goes out and he makes sure that he's dirty and happy. And I had a teacher that through my one animal shelter who talked to me about it. They sent me the email from this teacher that was in, I think she taught kindergarten or first grade. But anyway, she had the Baxter book up on the screens, and she had they went through the book, and then she had the kids, she gave them lessons and told them to write this and do this and color this and draw this. And then how do you feel about Baxter? Oh, they were all happy he got adopted. But I'm found by that input, and she said at the end of it, the kids, what really impressed her the most was the kids were sitting there and they were so happy because you can just what they learned. These are first graders or kindergartners. They learn you can be yourself and it's okay, no matter how dirty you get. And I found that when I heard all of that, I found that the foundation Hasmark has put down for me to do this. Since 2020, I've done all this. And Hasmark has put down the foundation. And now, with the additional help from Tess and Radiance, this thing is just going to get huge. I'm sitting here listening to this. I've heard a lot of it before, thinking, okay, how do I clone myself? Because this is going to be huge, and I can see just from the small stuff I've started with how this can impact kids.
And
And
Sherry, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
I wanted to say what I'm excited about Sherry's brand is that she knows what her brand is, and that aligning with someone like the ASPCA, finding a way to think outside of the box, because the ASPCA, who knows, they could have Baxter calendars and fundraise for the nonprofit organizations, the way to sell the books through their membership and give a kickback to ASPCA or the shelters. And she's done a lot of work with the local shelters. So I love to think outside of the box, and how can we get your books and your stories and your brands out in a different way, and just spinning the cube around and looking at it upside down. And so that's why I love what Sherry's doing with the animals and advocacy for animals too.
And with your help, with all your help, and they do. I mean, you have not got a better team than this group here. And I not say that because they're here. I could just not say it, but I have to say it because they're the ones that have, I mean, I think Radiance lies, though. I think it's more than 3 ounces, but nonetheless, she's a kind soul. But if you're ever down, you just have a conversation with her and you're going to be up in the air. You're going to be so excited. And then Tess gives you all these ideas. And then Judy gives you all these ideas on what you can do. As with Judy's staff, I mean, Anna Marie gave all kinds of things that I could be doing. But I'll have to tell, and then I'll be quiet. And Judy's heard this before, and Jen's probably heard this before. But because of all this, Radiance and Tess have not heard this. Because of all this, and it's going to just get better. Oh, I am also writing another book, but it's
Of course you are.
of course I am. This one, actually, what I was going to just tell you is a building has been named after me at one of the shelters, the cat thing. Thank you. The dog place, they call it the Smith Family Dog House, DAWG house. I thought I would be a little more professional because, of course, I could have brought in more money if I'd said Sherry Dunn's Cat House, but I thought it would be better if I didn't do that. So it's the Sherry Dunn Feline Center. and they have a little educational area in there. So what I'm doing is I have books written, children's books to 2026 based on Hasmark and putting this together. The activity book that just came out, I mean, that group, Jen probably wish she'd shoot me on last Friday. And I'm doing a book. It's going to be a nonfiction book, and it's going to be about animal rescue animal assisted therapy. I got all my animals there. Animal assisted therapy, which may also, that'll be an interesting way to see what we can do with that, because I'm going to have vignettes with the animals I've had. Tess, I'm Radiance, you've got a dog, right? Does a dog make you happy? You always have a good day, but when you see your dog, what happens?
Just so
I can't wait to see where we're going, Sherry, with all of the incredible things you're creating. Honestly, it's so much fun. The ideas are forever growing in our brain. So thank you so much.
I want to see
I
your
think it's
characters come
incredible.
to life and animated.
Yes, I know. It's where are we going next? So that call's coming up really quickly. So I think one of the things we should do now is, I know John dropped in a message and we don't have a lot of time, but we'll have some time to talk about. So maybe we can talk about what John has. He's got an awful lot of books in the queue by the sounds of things. Yep, for it, John.
Okay, yes. I write children's magical fantasy stories. Don't mention Harry Potter. It's pre-Potter. These, I can show you some covers. These are the covers. These are author's copies I'm just going through.
Wow.
But all of the books have keywords highlighted in the text. So I can show you a page with some on. And they're illustrated as well. You see that the green words highlighted. Now, at the end of the chapter, that word is explained in what I call a whiz dictionary, which is the stories are based on an island, enchanted island that nobody knows about, called Whiz Island. So all the books, all the words are listed there with the explanations. So the child reading the chapter needn't go on to the next chapter till he fully understands what this one's all about. And all books are basically 7 chapters. So there's the first chapter in the first 7 books is the identical story because they all happen in the same timeline.
Oh, that's cool.
It goes on 7 different books, but at the same time. So I changed the chapter around a little bit and have different words instead of the same ones every time. So they learn in new words. And probably at the end of the book, they will have learned in this particular one, the green one, I think there's 78 new words that they could learn. 67 in that one. There's the whole list of the words.
that's wonderful.
So I'm marking it as read and learn.
Yes.
And I've keyed it at 6 to 12-year-olds, but I'm trying to if they've got younger brothers or younger sisters, a colouring book.
Yes.
So you can get into this by colouring in pictures with little clips from the book. And then hopefully when they can learn to read properly, they'll move on.
Way to
So
go. That's awesome.
I love it.
There's one character, which is the Grand Sorcerer. He appears in every book. And in each book is about 3 characters, a wizard, a witch, and a warlock. And they have to go on individual journeys to rectify Whiz Island, which the ecosystem is failing. So that it's educational about ecosystem. There are crosswords in there, so it's sort of mentally challenging as well. So there's all sorts going on in the books.
Amazing. I love it.
Okay.
You're going to be fun to play in the Hasmark world.
Well, hopefully, that'd be nice. So that's where I'm at. 2 books published already. 2 more will be done by the end of August. I just uploaded the final edit today on Amazon, so we'll see how that comes back.
Thanks, John. That sounds awesome.
No problem.
Yeah, it springs all kinds of ideas, especially
Yeah.
to do it into, I'm sure Tess is going even crazier than I am
Yes.
because of the wizardry and what you can do with the characters. And you're incredible at character development. That's another thing that of one of your many talents, as well as, by the way, she's a chef too. Got to mention that just as passing, but it's incredible how that it starts there. And I know that's a lot. That's not a small thing what you have done, John. But
That's great. Congratulations.
yeah, there's so
It-
much there from
Yeah, there
entertaining to
is actually,
educating.
because you've got 27 characters at the moment, plus the grand one. And I'm not going to tell you the ending because I'll have to shoot you all, but there could possibly be 3 more. It depends on whether they save the island or not.
They're going to save the island, John.
Well, you never know, because that could be another
I
spin-off.
hope so.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. But it's
We
been a
don't
journey.
get
It's
these
been a
days.
journey trying to develop 27 characters, and I've not done them all yet, but I've got their ideas. I want where they came from, how they, well, we know how they got there because the Grand Sorceress banished them all there to save the island. But it's the clothes. There are nine different areas on the island, all with a different color. So you've got the deserts, which are orange. You've got the grasslands, which are green, and the forests are green. And each area has to be rejuvenated. So you've got to get the characters to fit with the environment. You've got to get their names to suit the environment. So it's been quite challenging, but enjoyable.
It sounds like a fun mobile app game or a board game.
Well, there's another idea.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it could be. I'm trying to develop a board game,
And there you go.
which I've got sort of layouts of different cards. So there's lots going on.
Super popular with homeschool.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Very popular
Yeah.
with homeschool.
Yeah.
A whole series put together like that. Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Quick
just the
quick
beginning.
side note, please include a journal. Journals go really well with.
Yes, different colored journals, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Do they, just one question on that, are there different types of journals for girls and boys, or one journal to suit both?
It really depends on what you're doing with your characters, but we are more than happy to chat about that if you get in with the group and consult with us. We will happily sit with you and go over that with you.
Okay, I've just booked a session for next Tuesday, so.
All right.
Awesome. Awesome. Excellent. And with that, I'm noticing we're only got a couple minutes left in the hour. So we want to make sure that Anna Maria has dropped the calendar into the chat window, as well as our email address, which is easy. You'll get the general group of us so that one of us will answer, info@hasmarkpublishing.com. So honestly, we'd love to meet with you guys, no obligation whatsoever. If you have content created already, say a course, or you've got a short movie or whatever it may be, I'm not going to say, because there is so incredible amount of content you guys can provide. So if you have it already, then we're welcoming the conversations to take place. We are building channels now, multiple channels to go live streaming. They will go live before the end of the year for sure. We're hoping much sooner than that, but I'm not going to promise it. So, and the idea is you guys will be the founding creators. Guys will get the first opportunity to go there, because I have zero doubt when this gets out that it is going to get very busy. And these streaming channels are making waves already. They've got an excellent distribution. As we said, Tess has worked really hard building the relationship she has and ensuring that, she's bringing the best to you guys, the best opportunities. So we'd welcome a call with everyone. Thank you, Tess and Radiant. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Anna Maria, for being here and dropping everything in and keeping us on track, and Jen for the presentation. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we look forward to where this path is leading us. Thanks, everyone.